Evictions I saw in 1885 changed the whole course of my life, transforming me from a carefree society girl into a woman of set purpose. I was determined to do my share to free Ireland from the British Empire. The wholesale destruction of the little houses of the people by battering rams was going on all over the country. 360,000 people were evicted from their little homes under Queen Victoria, and those houses they or their forebears had built destroyed. No provision was made for the homeless, except the overcrowded workhouses, where children died like flies, where families were separated, men one side, women the other, as in prison. I think it was Parnell who said, England's gifts to Ireland were workhouses, prisons, and lunatic asylums. In 1886, helpless, I watched 1,000 people made homeless on the windswept coast of Donegal. The men who attempted to defend their houses were carried off in handcuffs by the RIC. The women and children left to starve. Stones and boiling water were no match for guns. At Gidor, at the house of the parish priest, Father McFadden, Pat O'Brien MP, and I made plans. Excitement was to be let to die down, so the Crown forces would be withdrawn. No lorries then to bring up reinforcements quickly. So I was to go back to Dublin till Father McFadden sent me word to return. We would rebuild the houses and reinstate the evicted people. Our building materials were all to hand, except glass for the windows. Pat O'Brien was to order a number of little ready-made windows in Derry to be paid for out of Land League funds. I had not long to wait for the summons. Back in Donegal, at a mass meeting, I appealed for voluntary workers and how the people responded. The whole countryside turned out, and the children and the women as anxious to work as the men. Houses were constructed incredibly quickly, and as soon as we got a few families reinstated, we held ceilidhs. So there was work for everyone. Women baked griddle cakes, shopkeepers contributed packets of tea, and an occasional half-barrel of porter. A local fiddler played dance tunes, and any who could sing sang rebel songs, grand ceilidhs, and great heart in the people. Then a warrant for my arrest was signed in Dublin Castle. Irish intelligence service is always good. Pat O'Brien heard of that warrant a couple of hours after it was signed. A good friend and a great organizer, he at once procured a ticket for France and somehow arranged that the boat train to Scotland via Larne Stranraer would stop at a lonely place crossing a bog. He himself arrived at Gidor on an outside car, whisked me off in time to meet that train at the right place. With no luggage but a ticket to France in my hand, and I was told not to stop anywhere on the way till I got there. I arrived in Paris ill and consulted a doctor who told me I had consumptive TB and only about 6 months to live unless the disease was cured. He ordered me to go to a country place in the south of France and rest completely in the pine woods. In about 4 months I recovered. While resting, I wrote articles on the evictions in La Revue Internationale, edited by Madame Ratazzi, a grandniece of Napoleon's. These articles led to an invitation to lecture on Ireland at the Collège de France. Women lecturers were a novelty, and so I was asked to lecture in many other places, in France, in Holland and Belgium. That warrant for my arrest not only saved my life, but led to quite other results than the English expected or desired. The Celtic Literary Society, founded by Willie Rooney, of which Arthur Griffiths was secretary, like all political organizations of those days, excluded women from membership. But they invited me to lecture for them, so I used the opportunity of asking if they really thought Mother Ireland strong enough to go into battle with one arm tied behind her back, which was what this exclusion of women from political life meant, and suggested that they should invite their sisters and sweethearts to meet me in their room in Abbey Street, and we would form a women's organization for national independence. A few days after, I met some 14 sisters and sweethearts, all young, very interested in political work, but all loving Ireland and eager to work for her. What can we do? To which I replied, whatever you like, as I do. We all want to counter whatever the enemy is trying to do. England is preventing our language and our history being taught in the schools. We could start free classes to teach the children subjects forbidden in the schools. England is trying to get Irishmen to enlist in her army. We could start an anti-recruiting campaign. The girls agreed. Before a year was out, we had 3 centres in Dublin, teaching history, Irish, music and dancing. That was how Inine na hÉireann started. The organization grew rapidly. Soon we had branches in Cork, in Limerick and Ballina. We got great help from Belfast, where Anna Johnson and Alice Milligan had started a little paper, the Shan van Bocht. The president of our Cork branch is Mrs. Buckley, now president of Sinn Féin. Mary Quinn, who later married Dudley Diggs, was our general secretary, a wonderful worker. Work begets work. So soon we had to, with our children's class at choirs and child dancers, we were able to give shows to finance our various undertakings. We started a dramatic class because we wanted to act plays. So plays were written for us, like Willie Yeats's Kathleen the Hula Horn and Padraig Colum's Saxon Shilling. We staged the first play in Irish. It was written by Alice Milligan. Nearly all the first Abbey players like Sally and Molly Allgood, Dudley Diggs and the Fays, were either pupils or teachers in our dramatic class. Nina Nairn laid the foundation of the Abbey Theatre. Our anti-enlisting campaign was so successful that it brought Queen Victoria to Ireland to stimulate recruiting, which obliged us to start another campaign to stop official welcomes to English royal visitors. We held great demonstrations, but failed to prevent Queen Victoria receiving the keys of the city of Dublin. But we succeeded in preventing Edward VII receiving them when he visited Dublin after his coronation. When Constance Markievicz joined in Nina Nairn, she undertook to drill our boys' classes, and eventually she founded Fianna Nairn. Finally, Cumnaman was founded in our offices in Harcourt Street, and the first branch was called after us, the Amelia branch of Cumnaman. Constance Markievicz